Are you struggling to book sales calls? Are you struggling to get people to show up? Or are you struggling to get people even interested in your offer? Well, you might be missing this very important piece inside of your funnel, the video sales letter. And if you're wondering if it's actually that important, well, there's been tons of studies conducted, and the answer is unequivocally yes, you need this. And that's because there's so much information abundant nowadays. And there's also so many people in your niche competing for these same clients. And if you're right now forcing people to hop on a sales call to learn about your offer, well, right now that's why you're lacking the momentum in your business. So I'm going to show you exactly how to structure a video sales letter that attracts attention from the right people, moves them along, and gets them familiar on your offer and gets them excited about starting to work with you. So we're going to break everything down here. So first, we're going to basically go step by step inside of the video sales letter, what you should include and how to go about it. So the very first part here is going to be the pain or the problem. So it's really important that we start with this because right now we want to focus on people that are currently struggling, that have this pain, and there's a gap between where they're at right now and their dream life. And there's enough of a pain that they are willing to make a change and they'll actually pay money for it. Right? So we want to focus on people that actually are struggling right now, that are willing to pay money for it. So we're going to start by having the pain be very specific. And by also doing this, we're able to identify the right people. So if we can be specific on our avatar and what they're struggling with and really pinpoint exactly what they're looking for, we can attract people that are the right fit and we can repel the wrong people. And most of your videos, you're trying to shoot for retention, right? You can see on YouTube whether or not the viewership maintains on the video. But in our video sales letter, we're not actually optimizing for that. We want there to be a drop off because it's only natural that most of the people out there in the world are not going to be your perfect client. So right now, we want to start with the pain or the problem so that they know exactly whether or not they're feeling this pain. And if they are, they'll actually stick to the video. And everyone that isn't, will exit, drop off, but the people that are, they'll stay, remain, and pay. All right. And third, we're able to basically attract and figure out the level of awareness. So there's really three main levels of awareness inside of your audience. There's unaware, there's pain, and there's most aware. So basically, the unaware people don't really know they have a problem, right? These are all the industries that are inventing new products, new inventions, and that's all great, but they're not only having to sell these individuals on their product, but they have to sell them on the pain itself. So that's a very hard thing to do. We just want to focus on this demographic right here. And we're doing that because this is going to be slightly larger than the most aware. Most aware people are basically solution aware. And they're already understanding what's out there in the market. They're already shopping around your competition. They already know the different ways to go about this, so they're kind of harder to go after. But if we focus on the pain aware, these individuals know they're struggling, but they're looking for the right solution. So we're going to start here. This is a slightly larger audience. And through our video, we're going to introduce them to our model, get them excited about it, and then move them along to most aware. And through this process, we become the only solution, basically. So that's the goal right here. We're going to start with the pain or problem. So let's think about an example, which might be a credit repair company. All right, it's a very simple example that everyone would understand. So let's say that we're going to target people that has a problem of wanting to buy a house, but they're not getting approved. So are you in the market to buy a home, but no bank is approving you? Okay, so this is very specific, right? So this is very specific because this person probably has an urgency. They're trying to buy a home right now, and they also have their very specific pain point of not getting approved, most likely attributed to their credit. So now that we start with the pain or problem, we're speaking to only the very specific person. We can then move to the next step, which is going to be our big transformation claim. So this is going to be basically a one sentence, big, bold statement. All right. So basically, whether we like it or not, we're going to have a first drop off from people that don't resonate with our problem. But we're also going to have people hopping off because they just get distracted with life, right? So very quickly, before they hop off the video, we want to have our big, bold statement explaining what we do, right? So this is going to be basically a big promise that we have, what we're trying to help our clients with. We want it to be like a big promise that is clear, exciting, and very easy to understand. Very, very important. So again, there's different levels of sophistication from your audience, and people are more or less aware of what you do. So if you go too much into the nuances of the details of your program or into the scientific terms, you're probably going to push some people away. So you just want to be very basic. You want to be able to pass a corner store test. So basically, let's say you live in the middle of Kansas, middle of nowhere, and you go to the corner store and someone asks you, what do you do? You need to be able to understand what you're about, basically, through this one sentence, big, bold statement. So we'll have this sentence right here so that now we can basically very quickly attract the right people, make the promise, they know what the video is about, and then we'll keep moving forward. So in this case, we might say, we will help you become we will help you fix any credit in 30 days or less. It needs to be a big statement. And if you can't make a big statement right now because your program just simply can't allow for it, if you can't, what do we need to do? Make a better program. All right. We need to upgrade what we're doing. We need to have certain resources, certain promises, but obviously we're not trying to lie to everyone, right? We're not trying to become a scammer at all. The promise here is supposed to be so interesting, and that's because we can actually accomplish this result. So if you can't really make a big, bold promise right now, go back into your program, try to tweak things, and actually be able to make this big promise. And if you need some help redesigning your offer, I have a separate video for that shows you exactly the highest value solutions, the lowest effort ones, and how to structure everything so you can really make the best program possible. That's also very easy to scale. So now we've already attracted the right people. We've made the transformation claim. The next step here is going to be, who is this for? All right, so far, we have just about everyone that might have clicked on the video. Everyone that might have clicked on the video because of your thumbnail or the title. Then we got a little bit more specific by talking about the pain points. And now we're going to get just a slightly bit more specific by listing out a couple different items here. Okay? So this is allowing us to really only attract the very best people inside of our funnel. Because right now, if you're booking sales calls or you are getting attention on your offer, but it's a lot of people that are just tire kickers that aren't willing to invest, or they're not really able to or willing to take action right now, it's probably because you're attracting the wrong leads. And we want only the best leads. We can do that by narrowing down a little bit more. So at least at this phase, everyone knows what we're about. But now we're going to really narrow down who we're trying to really speak to. So at this point, we're going to be a little bit more specific on the ideal avatar. Ideal avatar. So we can talk about maybe, demographics, if that's important, the stage they're in, right? So if you're an advanced fitness coach, you don't want to attract beginners at the gym that don't know anything about the workouts or the machines. You want to be more specific about their stage. If you're a business coach, you might want to mention something about getting more clients, not the first clients, right? And so it might be stage. It could be, again, demographic, age, male, female, what have you, if that's important for your offer, right? But just getting a little bit more specific, and potentially you can even talk about timeline or finances. Okay, but all this allows us to get a little bit more specific so that now we can really only work and focus on the best people. So for this example, we might want to mention someone that is, for our example, we might say 30 years or older, 30 years or older, credit score below 600 and in the market to buy a home, in market to buy a home in next 90 days, right? So this allows us to maybe attract people that are slightly older that have established credit. Now we just have to remove the negative items so that now they'll be ready to go for their home loan. Credit score below 600, obviously they're gonna have negative items if that's low. Then in the market to buy their home in the next 90 days, now we know there's urgency, so they will be willing to work with us and pay money for it. So in this case, if you are over 30, credit below 600 and wanting to buy home within 90 days. So again, these are just examples, but credit's pretty generic and most people understand it. So that's where we're at. All right. So far we have established the big pain or problem that our leads are having. We specified what we do and the big promise that we have. We got a little bit more specific on who it's for. And now we're going to lay down some social proof or some credibility, because at this point we're starting to make some promises, right? And we might just be some person online behind a screen. They don't really know us that well. So what are they thinking? BS, right? They're thinking that their lie detector is going off the charts right now. We need to lay down some proof that we actually can get them results and we know what we're talking about. So how do we actually do this, right? We want to raise our credibility, and in a way, we kind of want to start bragging about ourselves. Okay, so number one way to do it is with accolades. Okay, so for example, if you're a nutrition coach and you have certain certifications, this is a great time to mention that. Okay, another one is going to be social proof. Obviously, so this could be yours or clients. Okay, it can be associations. So this is a really great psychological law. Basically, if you have worked or you got mentored by or you're friends with anyone that's significant in your industry and people have a good emotion attributed to that person, they'll basically attribute it to you if they see you together. So if there's a really big name that is very successful in your industry and you have proof of working together and people really look up to that person, respect them, and value them, they're going to actually associate a lot of those emotions to you. That's why a lot of people, they go on podcasts, they go speak on stages, they go show up and produce master classes inside of people's communities to get that association. So association with relevant people. Next, we can have publications. So this can be, for example, news outlets, news, podcasts. I'll put that here. And then even if you've been, again, on other groups, stages, anything like that. And the final one here is going to be flexing. All right, it's just the name of the game, right? We live in a materialistic world, so you can either have a soft or a hard flex. All right, so that's why some people out there, they'll show off their Bugatti, the penthouse, right? It's just basically showing people that I am most likely successful because I can afford these things. Or you can also do a soft flex, right? For example, I am shooting this out of my studio and I have a microphone. I got a really nice stand-up desk. I got all this equipment and stuff behind me. Got an iPad, right? So it might look like I'm a professional that is willing to invest time and money into building this out, and I take this very seriously. So although I might not say it out loud unless I just did right now, but you might subconsciously think these things by seeing the setup. So you can have a soft or a hard flex. If you're a fitness coach, obviously show off the physique, okay? But by doing this, now we can basically raise the trust factor that I actually know what I'm talking about because I have certifications, because I got results, my clients got results. I have worked with these people that are very relevant in this industry. I've been on podcasts. I've shown up for masterclasses in certain groups. I've spoken on stages. I'm also in potentially great shape, or I fixed my own credit, or I grew my own business, or I have this car, okay? So by doing this, we're raising our credibility so people actually believe in us. So I've done this for Paul and Sarah, and they bought their dream house, right? Paul and Sarah worked with me and they both bought their dream house within 90 days, okay? So that's, for example, the social proof that we can lay down. And obviously, you want to kind of, again, brag. Feel free to brag. This is the time to do it, and just lay it all out there so that you can basically further and further increase your social proof and credibility. So now we've gone over that. The next step here is going to be actually explaining what we do. So what's the mechanism? So ideally you want to have we'll say 3 to 5 main pillars that are going to encompass the overall milestones that relate to the client journey, basically. So let me block this off. So basically, let's say that in this case, we want to take our avatar, okay, that is currently struggling with their credit. They want to buy their dream house. They have a lot of pain, right? And we want to get them to their dream home, okay? But for them to get that result, certain things need to happen. And so we might, for example, have to clean up their personal info on their credit, right? We might need to fix inquiries. We likely have to remove negative item like late payments, right? So basically, your avatars most likely have a decent understanding of what will happen on their journey, and they have certain limiting beliefs and challenges about this. So they have limiting beliefs, perceived challenges, right? Let's say if you're a fitness coach, for example, your leads are most likely going to understand that right now they're struggling with their diet, with the actual workout plan, with the mindset, staying consistent. Okay, so basically, there's going to be main pillars inside of your program that should be able to accomplish this. Okay, so basically, we're going to have one pillar that helps with the personal info, one with inquiries, one with late payments, and we're going to lay it out to make it very clear to understand, but also make it sound like we've actually thought of every single thing that they will likely have to go through to get this result. It makes us look a lot more serious and professional. So we have these main pillars. We want them to be laid out, clear, and we want them to also be unique. So the fact is that most of your prospects probably tried fixing the solution on their own. They most likely already tried hiring another coach. So we need to have a unique mechanism. And by doing that, we also want it to sound, name should also be unique and professional. Okay, so that's basically the goal. So with all of these, we're going to have 3 to 5 main pillars that are going to break down exactly the main milestones, what we're trying to do, how it's going to work. But most importantly, we're really trying to sell them most on the what, not the how. Okay, so a lot of people, when it comes to marketing, they try to sell the plane ride instead of the actual vacation. When you see a pamphlet, when you see some kind of an advertising for like Spirit Airlines or Delta Airlines, although they're an aviation company, they're pitching you more on the beach, on the tropical destination, on the ski resort, right? They're selling you on the destination, what you're going to experience once you work with them and take that ride, basically. So we want to talk about right here what they will experience. So that's the main goal here. Don't talk about the intricacies of how this plane ride is all fuel efficient or how they're gonna have a little bit extra leg room. We don't really care about that. We wanna sell them on the dream, what it's gonna look like. So for example, if we're talking about like the inquiry process, our solution works so well that you're gonna clean your inquiries so fast. Our solution works so well that we're gonna make it so easy for you. You're gonna have your inquiries cleaned off and you're not gonna have to worry about it ever again in your life because you're gonna fully understand this process. And whenever you apply for something new, you'll always be able to clean up your report, right? So that's the goal. We're not talking about they need to submit reports or we have the training videos that they can watch, right? They don't really need to listen about that right now. It will become relevant later on in your funnel or during your sales call or when you actually make the sale, right? But right now we're just trying to sell them on the dream. We want to get them excited about it. And again, ideally it needs to be clear. It needs to be a unique mechanism. And although, again, your program is most likely very similar to someone else in your space, we want to make it sound unique. What's a separate or unique approach or angle that we can take that does make it different? And ideally have a name that's unique and professional, okay? So that's how I want to structure this next part here. And so we have the mechanisms itself, but every single time we make this big, bold promise about what they will experience when they use this mechanism, what are they going to think? They're going to think, once again, BS, okay? So basically, whenever we have a mechanism, every single time we introduce a new one, they're going to think barometers going off, craziness, right? So we need to basically address that and speak to some kind of a social proof. So what we can do right here, for example, is very easily, if you can, provide the social proof as far as your own results or your clients. Ideally, this is always going to be the best right here. Okay, so that'll work really well, but you can also use some of these other ones, right? If we're talking about like a special diet, you could mention how you're a nutrition coach, right? And you've already seen a lot of the diets out there, but this is the one that you've seen based on science that will work the best for them. But if you can back it by, this is what I did to no longer have cravings for desserts, or this is what I did for Susie, Sally, etc., and they no longer have those cravings, right? Ideally, the best is going to be having social proof, right, at this stage and showing people that you got results or we got someone else results. So for our own program, for example, we're really good at ads. And so I've used ads to grow my audience on Instagram to over 20,000 followers. I've grown it to grow a free school group to over 500 people. I've also used it to sign over 50 high-ticket coaching clients and make hundreds of thousands of dollars. And so my experience in ads is backed by my own experience of doing it and also for my clients. So this is when you want to fit in this social proof right here. So by talking about your experience or your clients ideally. So that's for the first pillar. But then once we have this mentioned, we go back and we talk about the next one. But the next one is also going to have this barometer go off. So basically we're going to do this loop for every single pillar. Okay? So at the very beginning here, when we first have basically the hook, okay? So this is like the hook all the way up to here. And then now we're backing it a little bit further, but this entire process should be about 3 minutes. And then when we talk about the mechanisms and social proof, this might be 10 to 15 minutes to kind of give you an idea. But now that we've gone over exactly what they should expect as far as dream outcome by going through our program, through the unique mechanisms that we have, now we're going to go over the next part here, which will be their options. Okay, so basically now we're going to start the pitch. Okay, we're actually going to start to sell them on working with us. And so it's very important that inside of your marketing, whenever you are trying to present or sell something, ideally you want to step into the minds of your prospects and address their concerns before they even basically run into that obstacle. So in this case, your leads and prospects are getting excited. They're seeing the potential. You made this big claim. You're providing them all different ways on how your program is going to solve the solution. But what are they thinking now? Well, okay, I understand what's going to happen here, but the first way I could solve this is doing it on my own, right? On my own. So that's option number one. Option number two is working with another company. And option number three is working with you, right? So this is what your prospect is thinking right now. So it's even better if you just address it head on, okay? So at this point, once we've gone over all the different mechanisms, now you can be very clear about, okay, here are your options. So you could solve this all on your own, but you've already been trying to solve this for years. Do you really have the time or money to waste, right? This is when a lot of people will mention this kind of stuff, okay? So basically you say, or we'll just put this here, why not, okay? And I don't really like to talk down about people or really just criticize someone else. So this is an option right here. If you have a good example on, like, let's say you have a done-for-you solution. Well, you could say why they should work with a coaching company because it might take longer. They have to do the work themselves. If you're a coaching company and a lot of people are offering a done-for-you solution, you might say that it costs you more money to have it done for you, right? So maybe not attacking a specific company, but attacking another main industry way, for example. So here again, why not? And then you can mention really quickly why you, okay? So here you can say, for example, that instead of having to waste all this time and money trying to figure it out on your own for solving just one of these pillars, let alone all 3 or 5 of them, we could have it all installed in your business, or we could give you all the templates, all the resources, all the trainings you need to get this done within 30 days, right? So you're making a big, bold promise again right here. So big, bold promise. Okay, so that's it for the options piece. Next, let's keep it moving. We got the value stack. So here we're basically going to go in a little bit more detail as to what they're actually going to get. So we at this point basically just want to lay down as much value as possible, because your leads, or really anyone at the end of the day, what do they really want? They want to get a deal, right? They want to get more value that's greater than the actual cost, right? And that's why Black Friday is one of the biggest and highest transaction days out of the entire year, because people are getting items for cheaper. They're getting more value for less, right? So we basically want to stack as much value as possible so that the cost becomes almost irrelevant, right? So when it comes to the value stack, we basically want to think about, again, this client journey, ideally, and we want to think about every single way that they're going to struggle, and we want to make the perception that they're going to have a very easy and fast time to getting the results. So by doing this, we need to lay down all the main solutions that are going to be highest value for them and being very specific about it. So for example, if we go back to the credit repair company right here, we might say that we have plug and play templates. We might say that we'll call the bureaus for you. We'll call the credit bureaus for you. We might provide you with a credit specialist that's already trained. We might send the letters for you, done for you disputes. Okay, we might have one-on-one support. We might have group coaching calls. You might say that we have all the latest resources up to date in industry resources, right? So basically this person's going to think about what might happen when they get started on this journey here, and they're thinking, okay, I might struggle with the actual letters, for example. What should I put on these letters? Well, before they even think that, we got the templates. Right? They're thinking, oh, well, I'm actually going to understand and know how to fill out these templates. I might mess it up. We got one-on-one support, right? So in this case, you want to just lay down all the highest value solutions in your program. So you might have even a lot more to provide, right? But here we just want to focus on the main things. You could almost even make it like kind of a journey as well. So for example, we're going to start with, like, if you're like a fitness coach, we're going to provide you with all the diets. Then we're going to help you with all the gym workouts. Then we're going to help you basically stay consistent with the mindset and the accountability, right? So you could almost kind of lay it down like almost in order as to what they're actually going to do. That's one way to do it, but really just focus on the highest value stuff. And I like to break it down also into these basic milestones. So for example, we have the main milestone right here. And so inside of this milestone, you're going to get this, and this. Inside of this milestone, we're going to get this, and this. And the last one here, etc. Right? So now we're stacking as much value as possible so that there's so much that the cost is almost irrelevant, because at the end of the day, the pain is so great, ideally, that they need to solve the solution. And so now we have so much value to provide that we're that solution. So next, we're going to provide a risk reversal. This is very powerful because at the end of the day, people are worried of spending money and not getting a result. Okay, so it's the same reason that, for example, a plastic surgeon might charge 10 times more than a newer plastic surgeon, and that's because he has more experience, right? And what does experience mean? Well, it means that it'll probably work again, right? It'll probably work. Let's see. Try to get that working here. Work again, right? If you were to work with a plastic surgeon doing this operation for the very first time, you might actually ask him to pay you money, right? You're in the operating room for the exact same amount of time. You're getting the exact same outcome, but people want to lower the risk as much as possible. So in this case, they're worried about paying you money and not getting the result, right? Coming in it's like a meat factory coming out the other side and they didn't really get the benefit, okay? So in this case, we want to provide potentially maybe a guarantee, okay? So we could have a guarantee, and there's multiple different guarantees that you can provide. If you're a coach, however, the main ones that I see work the best are going to be maybe I'll take this off. A first guarantee might be money back. So this can be unconditional. If you don't get results within 90 days, we'll give you your money back. If you don't like the program within 30 days, we'll give you your money back. So that's unconditional regardless. Conditional, for example, is that we will give you your money back if you don't get the results, if you follow our instructions, if you hop on every single coaching call, if you provide us with your KPIs, or you show us that you sent the letter templates, for example, right? So you could have some kind of a money back guarantee, and this helps because people might think that, well, although it looks great, well, if it doesn't even work, I might give my money back, right? That's one way to do it, but you do put yourself potentially at financial risk, so, give and take, right? And then we have the service guarantee. Service guarantee. So this is basically when you keep working for free until X result. So basically, our goal is to, again, fix your credit within 30 days. But if it doesn't work out in 30 days, we'll keep working with you until you get your dream house, right? So service guarantee works really well. You can have like a one-on-one promise, for example, right? If you do have a higher tier offer and you have one-on-one, this is really powerful so that people will basically expect to get the result and time becomes irrelevant, right? And the final one here is going to be no guarantee. So again, there's a lot more out there, but these are the most popular ones if you're a coach. So a no guarantee, for example, this can also be powerful because there might be some kind of implication of value. Okay, so for example, if you're a business coach and you're going to show them all the back end of your business with all the different copy and paste funnels, etc., well, once someone gets that, they can't unsee it, right? So if you say there's no guarantee, this almost implies extra value because it might be so good that they just can't unsee it, for example, right? But all three of these work for different ways. But ideally, again, if you want to increase the value of your offer and of your overall pitch as much as possible, it is powerful to have one of these. Next, we have bonuses. So again, right now we're trying to stack value much more as possible because we want to be over the cost, right? So bonuses are another great way for us to do that. And ideally, we want our bonus to fit in with what we're doing. So I like to think of it as two ways. Okay, so we have, again, our ideal avatar. They're in this case trying to buy their home, but you might be helping them get the dream body. You might be helping them grow their business, make more money, what have you. So right now, on their journey to accomplishing their goal, there could be basically parallel services that they would either look for or benefit from. So for example, in this case, if they get great credit, well, we might help them qualify for 0% funding, for example, to grow a business, right? So another one could be, for example, if they have great credit, they could get premium credit cards. They can get travel hacking perks, free trips, free travel, right? So it's not really my main offer in this case, but because we're able to accomplish this goal, they would be able to get these benefits, okay? So that's one way to present these bonuses. Another one, for example, is thinking of what might happen next, all right? So for example, if we were to help people get ready to apply for a home, we might have certain bonuses for the best home lenders that provide the best rates. We might show them the whole application process and how to expedite the approval rate, right? So this basically are going to be bonuses that implies results. We're going to give these out because we know you're going to get results. And once you get this result, you're going to need this. Okay, so that's for like the credit repair, for example. But if you're a business coach, right, you might have a benefit of helping people grow their business. But once they grow their business, you'll also provide a bonus on the scaling of it, or better operations, or getting better client results. So that as you help them scale, you'll also help them improve the client delivery, because you're going to have so many clients that you need to basically structure it better so you get your time back. So that could be a big promise right there, right? If you're a fitness coach for the body, right, you might have a bonus that allows them to maybe have a get back in the game dating guide, right? Because now they might have been struggling because they have low confidence, because their body's out of shape. But once you get them back in shape, they're going to have so much confidence, they want to get back in the game. Well, you have a guide for that, right? Or you might have a guide for their new wardrobe, or you have some kind of a pre-selected wardrobe, or you help them pick out their new clothes because their old clothes don't fit them anymore, right? But all of these have a lot of value, and they are relevant because it's still somewhat attributed to our main offer, but now it's going to just stack on even more value. So if you want to make it even spicier, you can also attribute value as well. So if you're doing a 0% course as a bonus, for example, well, if someone were to go hire a credit consultant or a credit coach to learn this stuff, it might cost them $6,000, right? If you were to help someone get a new wardrobe, well, it might cost them $2,000 to get a whole tailor set up, right? But instead, you're going to have everything laid out for them. So this is how you can stack even more. And this is going to allow you to, again, make an even sexier pitch. So that's it for the bonuses right there. Now we're going to do a second value stack. So basically, we're going to repeat all the value that we've had. So we're going to repeat value stack number 1. So not only are you going to get X, 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 and X, but we're also guarantee that you'll get results. And if you don't, X will happen. And you're also going to get these bonuses just from working with us completely for free. So now we're just overwhelming them at this point. They're just thinking, oh man, this is crazy. I need this, right? And so to finally top it all off, we're going to finally go into the price. So if your offer is under $2,000, you can honestly just present the price and hopefully they click and buy, right? Or if you're a high ticket coach, for example, and your offer is over $2,000, at this point, now you can present them with the next step, which might be booking a call, or it might be a simple one-pager, for example, and you ask them to DM you. You ask them to DM you, and once they DM you, you can send them a one-pager that has all this information. That's what we do. That's what we help our clients with. So we basically eliminate the need for sales calls because our marketing is so powerful. We're able to present our offer in such a strong way that people already know they want it. All they're missing now are the details of the program, like the pricing, how is it delivered, group coaching, one-on-one, etc. How long is it? So we just present everything on a one-pager, which eliminates the need for sales calls, so we get our time back to focus on our high impact activities like marketing, content, working with clients, etc. But at this point now, we've gone over everything, right? So we've gone over the big pain point that they have, attracting their attention, getting them leaning in. Then we made our transformation claim, explaining right off the bat what we can do through a big, bold promise. We then got a little bit more specific on who it's for by providing a couple of different items basically that attribute to our dream avatar. Then we address the barometer right here, the BS barometer, by explaining exactly who we are, what we do, and the results that we've had. And then we go over the details of what they can expect by going through our program, by explaining the unique mechanism that we have and focusing on the main pillars. Once we do that, we then address the elephant in the room and address the fact that they have 3 different options and why they should choose us. We then present all the value that we have inside of our offer by making it so interesting and so attractive. But then we stack on top of that by providing a risk reversal to lower their perceived risk. We stack even further by providing bonuses that do relate to our offer by having a parallel bonus or an after bonus. And then we lay it all out there for them by providing the value stack number 2. And finally, with the call to action. So either having the direct link if you're a lower tier product, or having the booking link or a DM me ask. But by packaging all that together, you're gonna have a very, very powerful VSL that attracts a lot of attention, that attracts a lot of the right attention, and gets you a lot more sales. So hopefully this helps you out. If you want to check out my other videos on my channel, be sure to subscribe so you can see a lot more of those. If you want some help reshaping your offer, reshaping your whole funnel to attract and sign a lot more high-ticket coaching clients, be sure to click on the link below my YouTube handle right there, or check out the pinned video on my channel. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.